Well, welcome back to Mark Perryman. He's kindly come in to tell us again about the event that happened on Saturday, where they were collecting food for the food banks, and we had a number of choirs, pantomime companies, bands playing. It was a tremendous event, and Mark's now going to tell us a little bit about it.
Well, it went very well. The weather held out. It was predicted rain between 10 and 11. We didn't even have a shower then. We reckon we had nearly 400 people helping through the days. We had these special badges made, and Lewes against food poverty, and I thought 300, well that would be plenty, and I had to start rationing them after lunchtime. I went to Aldi on Monday for the very last trolley dash. We had some money left over, so we did. And I was chatting to one of the checkout staff. I said, "Could you hear the bands? Because we had live music outside Aldi on Saturday." He said, "Yeah, all day long," with a great big smile on her face. So it went very well. And the most important thing of all was, of course, the collection, which topped 7,002, which the last two was a bottle of balsamic vinegar and a packet of soya, which I thought was very Lewes, so I wasn't going to miss those two out, which is a huge collection. Our previous record had been on Halloween. It's been building up all the way through the year. Almost every collection is bigger than the previous one, and that was 5,661. So I'm not sure about my maths, but I think that's about a 25% increase. So, which you kind of would expect at Christmas. You know, people are feeling generous, and there's a lot of goodwill around. And I think the message which we were projecting, that nobody in this town should go hungry this Christmas, was a powerful one, which was very well received.
Perhaps I could ask a couple of questions. In comparison to last year, how did you get on in terms of numbers?
Oh yeah, I mean, incredibly positive. We had to be a little bit careful. There was a bit of a crowd building around the choirs at one point outside Waitrose. I don't think anybody had ever seen 12 hours of choirs, and almost every one was a different style of choral music, including Glyndebourne, which was definitely one of the highlights of the day. But I mean, I'll give you a sign of a goodwill. The volunteer just next to the Waitrose, obviously they're shut at the moment because of level 2 restrictions. They gave us over their space, which we'd used in the summer, but when they reopened we couldn't use, and that gives us a secure space both for the helpers and for the goods, because there's a brick wall between you and the people donating, so that's a pretty effective form of social distancing. And then at the end of the evening, round about 9 o'clock, very last choir, which was the Lewes Women's Vets Football Club choir, who'd come all the way back from Seaford. They played that afternoon, and they were accompanied by the Quakers electric piano pianist, and they were belting away. So it's absolutely not true they only sing when they're winning, because they don't win that often. They wouldn't tell me, but I don't think they won that afternoon. And Chihuahuas came out with a whole load of curries, and we thought, well, we can't really accept these. What can we do with fresh curries? And they said, no. Your choirs have been so wonderful all day long. We'd like you all to have them. So the very last shift got that, and that's really, that really gives a sense of solidarity. That was lovely gesture.
Do you have any future plans for further events in any of the surrounding areas or locally?
Well, I mean, sadly, the problem's not going to go away. The virus will end at some point, let's hope so, but there will then be, I don't think it's any doubt, will be redundancies, massive redundancies. Some economists are estimating possibly up to 2.6 million unemployed. I think you've got to go back to the 80s for those kinds of levels of unemployment, and they will hit every part of the country. Some worse than others, but they'll certainly hit East Sussex. So the necessity remains. So we don't want to be collecting food for our neighbours and people down our street, but we will need to. We've now expanded out to collecting for Ringmer. We'll definitely do it for as long as it's required. And I started looking for dates because we've kind of developed this idea of theming things. So we had Halloween, we had Christmas. So I'm looking for when Valentine's Day falls. Does it fall on a Saturday? I'm looking for if International Women's Day falls on a Saturday. The summer solstice, does that fall on a Saturday? I'm sure we'll come up with lots of different ideas. And It is a lot of fun. The people taking part. We had Baron Hardup, by the way, on the collection at Tesco's from St Mary's Panto. I thought it was hugely ironic that Baron Hardup joined Food Bank's collection. So it's a lot of fun for those taking part and those seeing what's going on. But it's also hugely symbolic, because when you see the Panto casts and the theatre groups and the cricket teams and the rugby teams and the hockey teams all in their kit, and the bonfire all in their jumpers, then it's a very powerful visual symbol of a town coming together. So it's a lot of fun, but also brings it together. I did have one idea, which was very early now, we have a keep fit shift. So we had Soul Fit at Waitrose, and we had a group of yoga instructors at Tesco's, and the yoga instructors were doing some moves. I'm not sure if they were yoga or what have you, but it got me thinking dancing. And I thought, Strictly Come Collecting. Yeah, we've got to do that at some stage next year. And as soon as I mentioned it to people, you were laughing, as soon as I mentioned it to people, I'd already signed up 3 or 4 different dance styles. So a whole range of different dance styles through lunchtime. I think that will definitely be one of the ones next year. Like I say, it will continue to be necessary.
And thanks, Mark, for coming in and bringing us up to date with the event. And you've done a tremendous job, and on behalf of Lewes, I'd like to thank you.